All right, so let's go ahead and get into the other. Let's go ahead and get some of these other articles fairly quickly. I think this is a non-story, but that's why I want to cover it. So, if you're a real estate agent or a consumer out there and you saw that mortgage refinance demand plunges 43% from a year ago as higher interest rates take their toll on borrowers.
What?
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Historically low rates right now, higher interest rates taking toll on borrowers.
Yeah.
So let's remember what happened last year.
Let's really go through this.
So last year, there was some news that came out, a pandy, right? And remember, we can't say the word. I can say it in Clubhouse, which is ironic, but I cannot an audio thing. I can't, we can't say the Rona because then YouTube and Facebook will be like, oh, they're giving medical advice. We are not. So it happened. And when it did, rates dropped, right? And rates dropped, the targets dropped because the Fed has a two-prong job. One of those jobs is to maintain full unemployment or maintain full employment and to prevent inflation. So when the Fed drops the rates, it makes it more attractive for businesses to continue to hire people and keep people in their job because they have more money and productivity should go up as more people want to buy things because the cost of buying things should stay low. So because of that, the rates begin to go down. And when those rates went down, a bunch of people said, holy cow, historic low rates, let's refinance.
Historic.
Yeah. I mean, big time historic. And when that happened, we saw the number of refis go through the roof. Remember last year, this was the time of year where they were saying, oh my goodness, we cannot manage this. We're having to hire underwriters. We're having to find more appraisers. There's no way we can manage all this volume and activity. This is the best that it's ever been because of rates. So this is not a dire situation in which now refis are lower. It's to be expected. And if you listened and watched the show last year, then you know that we gave fair warning. And we said we're at historically high sales, historically high price increases, historically low interest rates. Just wait until next year when all the headlines are going to say how bad the economy is or how bad this is or how depressed we should be because of the change. But what we really have to do is look at the previous year, right? Like 2019.
Right.
Or 2018. Then we can get a better idea of what in the world's going on. So applications to refinance a home fell 5% last week, but was 43% lower compared with a year ago. The refinance share of mortgage activity decreased to 64.5%. Signs of faster economic growth, an improving job market, and increased vaccine distribution are pushing rates higher, said Joel Kahn. NBA's Associate Vice President of Economic Industry Forecasting. The run-up in mortgage rates continues to cool demand for refinance applications. Activity declined last week for the fourth time in 5 weeks. That's another quote from him. All right, so let's look at the mortgage applications to purchase a home. They're less sensitive to weekly rate moves. It rose 7%. So 7% more people wanted to buy a home this year than last year. And I think we'll see that over the next couple of weeks and maybe the next month, we'll see that mortgage applications are higher, but then there will be a tilting point, a pivot where they'll start to go down because remember the showing activity graph that we shared last year where in March it was going good. It was higher on record and then boom, it dropped drastically for about 4 weeks. So watch that number because I think it'll be higher compared to last year for another 4 weeks. And then it's going to be much lower than 2020. But that's because 2020 was such an incredible boom and we have such a shortage of it now.
Well, and two, it'll be, I think, as word gets out and people read the headlines, which we go past the headlines, but if people read the headlines, they're going to be, interest rates are going up. I was waiting to buy. Now I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to get out there. I don't want it to get to 3.5. I want to still stay under 4%, so they're not going to wait anymore. So I think there's going to be that where they're, waiting because there's a lot of buyers and sellers, we all know this as agents that wait. I want to wait to see how low they're going to go or how low these rates are going to, or how long they're going to stay there. Or I want to see how high, they're up 10%, which I'm going to hit in my next story. I'm going to wait to see. And then they kind of miss. So now they're like, okay, well, I better go. Like, let's go.
Right. Matthew Clinton producer extraordinaire says sad violin music.
And I love she highlighted your historically historic.
Historically historic. Rethink Home says they've done studies, 60% of the time works every time.
Every time. Yeah.
Love made up stats. Say that 87% of stats are made up on the spot.
Yeah. Well, when I used to work in the video game industry, that's a little, when you see when I'm on full camera, you'll see my little Guitar Hero back there. I used to work in video games. We used to have a funny saying because, we had testers that tested and tried to find bugs, tried to find issues with the game. And there was a reproduction rate. How often can you reproduce this? Well, like 60% of the time, I can do it 100% of the time. Like it was literally a thing. And we were always like, the different producers and the different project managers were like, well, wait, you have to, give me 5 reproduction steps. Is that 100%? Okay, but if I do this, yes, it's 100%. So it's the exact same, and then that movie came out and it was like, hey, they took our thing, man. 60% of the time it works every single time.
Jesse's joining us. Hello, gents. Hello. Thanks for joining the show. Mario says, people in chat, you see mortgage applications going up or down in the next 3 years? All right, real quick. Are they going up or down? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
They're going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going up. Okay, I'm going to be honest. They're going up way quicker than I thought they would. They're in that volatile range now, but yes, they're going up. But we had reports at the end of last year when we did our prediction show, which we do every year. Go back and watch that to see how right we were or weren't. But we had reports that said they're going to stay low in the 3s in the range. Yeah. I think in the range of 3.5% for the next 3 years. And those were like, not us predicting. They were like economists, like futurists, picturing the future. So I'm second guessing I forget what my prediction was, but they're going up a little quicker than I had expected.
Yeah.
So
say up now that we have 3D print houses. Yeah. If you missed last week's show, there are some 3D print houses with Matthew. You're going to have to put an annotation on YouTube to queue up that story.